Do you think that we'll see more of this kind of violence today?
Absolutely. I believe that the protests have moved into a different phase, and we are possibly approaching general strikes, which have been called by Makhmalbaf, the very famous Iranian director, as well as opposition websites. So we are really moving into a very different phase, and we will most likely see more violence of this sort.
Do you think the clashes we're seeing on the streets could be the breaking point of the regime? Is it losing its footing or its grip?
Frankly, I think it's both. It is losing its footing and it is losing its grip, and I think it's placing itself in that position, really, because if they are more aggressive, they will lose even further legitimacy, if that were possible. But if they become a little softer, that may really be the end of them, because that'll bring millions of people into the streets. The people who are pulling back and are too afraid to go onto the streets now will go on the streets if they become a little bit less sure in terms of their oppression.
You were one of the people that were in Tehran about in June, about 6 months or so ago,
yes,
when the disputed presidential election was going on. We want to show some of the images that were taken during that time. But this time, though, Babak, don't you think that this violence has galvanized some of the more traditional religious people that it hadn't when we saw the protests back in June?
Well, let me be very clear about this. During the June elections, the Iranian regime lost all legitimacy in terms of its democratic claims. During Ashura, it lost all religious legitimacy, because this is the first time a Shiite government has opened fire on Shiite mourners on the Shiism's holiest day. So as much as the regime's propaganda machine would like to pretend that no people were killed, we can see the videos, obviously, and sooner or later they'll be spread all over Iran. If you look at last week's Qom demonstrations for Montazeri's funeral, you'll see that all people from all walks of life, whether young, old, middle class, poor, joined in, and that's what we're seeing right now. Very conservative, very traditional people are joining the ranks of the Green.
Are you in touch with people in Iran? What are they telling you now? Are they scared? Are they excited at this kind of momentum? Are they determined? Or, the crackdowns can be extraordinarily harsh and people, as we saw back in June, back down?
Well, I can tell you I haven't slept in 48 hours, and yes, every minute we're basically in touch with Tehran through all sorts of media, including Facebook, Twitter, telephones, and so on and so forth. But it's really, really important that we somehow break this monopoly that the government has on broadcasting, and that's why we need more radio ability so that we can reach people who don't have Twitter and Facebook and so on and so forth. And those are the more traditional people in the provinces and so on and so forth. So we are basically glued to whatever electronic media we have, so we can follow this.
Babak speaking to us from California, giving us some perspective through his contacts in Tehran on the ground about the situation there. Foreign media has been banned from covering these protests. Thanks so much. We'll see what happens today.
Thank you.